Okay, so once again, we're going to be having another look at the iPega Red Knight Bluetooth controller, and it running some emulators on my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. So today in particular, we're going to be having a look at the PlayStation Portable emulation, which is through the emulator PPSSPP, which is absolutely fantastic. So basically, you just get your phone into the iPega. Now, once again, one of the things that I most like about this phone is the fact that even in its case, it fits the iPega without any sort of trouble. So let's just slip this one in like so. You see, it's just a really nice snug fit, absolutely perfect. At the weekend, I did recently try this with my friend's Galaxy Note 10, and once again, it fits the Note 10 without any sort of problem. All right, so then what you do, you turn on the iPega down below here, then you hit the home button, and when the red lights are on, you know that it's then working. So we'll just unlock the actual phone here. There we are. And I shall scroll along to my PlayStation emulator, which is PPSSPP. And hopefully without too much trouble, we'll be there. So if we have a look at the games here. Here we are. So the iPeg is now already connected. And similar to when you had your when you were scrolling through the games on your actual PSP console, you'll notice that the sort of background to each game comes along, and some of them play music. Like this is Everybody's Golf here, Quake, Grand Theft Auto. So you get the idea. So I have got on this one about 100 games. Now it's a bit, sometimes you might find it a bit tricky just to look at the icons. So what you can do, if you go back up to the top again, you can actually put your games just into a list mode there. So you've got a list then of all the different games that we've got. So I've got about 100 of my favorite PSP games on this one, and we're going to have a look at, say, about 20 or so thereabouts, just ones that I think represent different sorts of games on the PSP, but also ones that are going to put it a bit to a test. All right. Okay, so the first one we're going to be having a look at here is Archer MacLean's Mercury. Now, I absolutely love this game, where you basically, it harks back to me to like the old classic arcade game Marble Madness, and what you do, you basically have to direct a blob of mercury through various courses and mazes. It sounds simple, it's absolutely not. So there you go, so it gives you a little light. This is obviously just the tutorial. Okay, so yes, let's get going. Now I actually did manage to complete this one back in the day on the PSP. So what do we need to do? Let's see. Don't think that's the way. What's this? There we are. Nice and straightforward. Okay, to the next level. Now I can remember back in the day, this, I'd be twisting my PSP all over the place trying to figure out how to do it. Oh dear, failed. Anyway, this was a great game, and it's one that comes recommended. So that's the first one anyway. Okay, so this is Capcom Classics Reloaded. So this has got some classic Capcom games for us to have a look at. There's the start button there. So what's on this little compilation then? We got 1942, 1943, another 1943, Ghosts and Goblins, which is a real classic. Ghouls and Ghosts, another one. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which I found really difficult. Commando, that was great, wasn't it? That was blooming great. Mercs. Street Fighter 2. Different versions of that. Sanson, don't know that one. There's loads on there, isn't there? King of Dragons, Knights. Is that Knight's Stand? And back to the start again. So shall we have a look at Ghouls and Ghosts? Because let's be honest, that's a pretty damn amazing game, isn't it? So Ghouls and Ghosts it is. Now, one player, yes. We have to hit the, there we have to hit the start key sometimes. It's worth bearing that in mind with this. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Hands up if you remember playing this one in the arcade. Fast and furious fun, you could say. Brilliant stuff. I could spend hours playing this one because it's just so good, and I'm so bad at it. So I got the fireballs now. It was pretty unforgiving, wasn't it? On to the next one. Okay, so now we've got a bit of classic Grand Theft Auto Liberty City stories. Not quite sure how well this will run with the full motion video. Easily one of my all-time favourite original PSP games when it came out. It was literally having the Grand Theft Auto, the first time you could have the Grand Theft Auto world in your pocket, and absolutely fantastic on the original PSP. So far, it looks really good. But how good is it actually going to play? That we'll have to see. There he is, just getting a taxi. If you never have played this game, it is just an absolute classic in every respect, and it comes totally recommended. It was so good on the PSP.
So there he is, huh?
Here we are. See if I can fast forward a couple of these cutscenes so we can get into the actual action.
Got you a nice little place to stay, Tony.
Okay.
It's got you written all over it.
Here we
We'll
are.
head there first. You're all heart.
Here we are. Get in the car then. How do we get in? Like all these games, you just take a bit of time to get used to the controls, but once you're there, you're there. Right, and there we are. Oh, it's every bit as good as I remembered. I mean, if not better, because the screen's better quality. So, yeah, fantastic stuff. Look at this. It's just running so smoothly. Oh, I got back in. I jumped out the car. I was trying to find the brake. Let's run down to my car. Do. All right, get in again, you fool. Actually, I think I'm pretty much at my... This is where my house is, as I seem to recall. Isn't it? Oh, it's the next one over. Well, we don't want to see my house. Let's have a little just cruise around the city, shall we? Just a little bit. Just for a bit of old time's sake. Oh, good stuff, eh? And it's really, the controls are really responsive. I'm not having any sort of slowdown at all. The Bluetooth is working fine. If you ever had this one, leave a note in the comments because it's blimmin' brilliant. And if you haven't got it, what a great story to do. And don't forget, you can load save files and things like that into this. So,
Watch the goddamn car!
oh, I just mowed a few people over outside the police station. But basically, I just need to get back to that yellow little blip on my map. That'll show me exactly where this is where my first save point is. And then it'll save it, and that's where you go to. That's like your base of operations initially. And then you go off and start getting your missions. There we are, one more. Come on. There we are, you go into here, I remember. There you go. Bit of GTA.
This is it, Tony. Home sweet home. Beautiful, ain't she?
So this is Joost, another cool racer. Something that the PSP does so well. Not using the trigger buttons here, I'm just using the buttons and the gear stick. And a bit like a lot of these, you just have to get used to the controls, just so that you've got, you know, exactly what's what. But the main thing to show you on this one is I just want to show you just how smoothly it's running. So I am actually detecting, it's hard to see maybe on the video, but there is a tiny bit of, it is slightly lagging ever so slightly. So maybe this is one that is either not being emulated very well by PPSSPP, or maybe the ROM dump's just not that great. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it's whizzing past fairly quickly. And I admit I'm not the greatest of Juice players, but you get the idea. And I just nitrous there. Yeah. Perhaps not my finest moment, but that's Juice for you. Okay, so this is another real favourite of mine from back in the day, and this is Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy. So I guess this is the one we want to be going to. A New Hope, Part 1. The Secret Plans, yeah. Fantastic stuff, this, absolutely fantastic. Now, once again, at the start of this, it did flash up to say potentially there was a bit of slowdown and we may want to use frame skip, but I'll just see how we get on. As I'm sure you've all seen this before, it's an absolutely fantastic game. The first sort of Lego game I really remember playing was this one, to be honest. And on the PSP, it is, I think, particularly good. So, yeah, it comes recommended. So I'm not sure how quickly it will let us get into the actual action. These cutscenes never tended to be too long. So can we have a start, please? Here we go, yeah. Now this is the sort of game that's really, really difficult to play on. If you didn't have a wireless controller, you'd really struggle with something like this. So that's why the Red Knight iPega does the job. It's just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I cannot praise it highly enough for straightforward, out the box, and it just works. And that's why I love it so much. Okay, here we go then. So let's see. Approach the piles of Lego and build it. Okay, here we go then. Okay. Okay. Looks like we need to go through there. Now, I don't think, yeah. I need someone with a gun. Ah, here we are. Yes. And it seems to be keeping up really well, this. Of course, we're on the Rebel blockade ship. Oh, can't go in there. And it does look really, really nice, doesn't it? You have to say. Oh, this is it. This is when Vader comes in, isn't it? Yeah. How cool is this? Look at this. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So this is Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy. And as far as I can see, this runs absolutely perfect. So this one is another recommendation. And as you may guess, this is Little Big Planet, narrated by Mr. Stephen Fry. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant this, brilliant on the Vita as well. Little Big Planet was just one of those great, great games, and it's a shame they do seem to have run out of ideas with these this franchise at the moment. But certainly one that I like, and you know, just to get the game started, you have to go through the titles, which is just mental. So I am controlling the guy, the sack boy, at the moment. And this gives you some idea of the of just what the game's going to be like. It's overload cuteness, but absolutely fantastic.
There are now more happy sack personages gadding about Little Big Planet than a 900-year-old hot dinner monster has had hot dinners. So you're going to need to stand out from the crowd and customize yourself. Press the menu button to access your poppet. Your poppet.
Well, I won't bother you with any more of that because simply, you know, we've got so many great PSP games to show you. But as you say, this one, Little Big Planet, is one you can really lose yourself in, so I recommend it.
Your average sack boy is an
Okay, so the next one is Lumines, which is a bit of like a futuristic version of Tetris. Absolutely love this game. It's also great fun. So as you can see, you've got a much bigger board than Tetris. But it is a puzzle game, basically. And it's got a pretty rocking soundtrack as well. So Tetris, no. Lumines, absolutely. And it's good stuff. Honestly, it does come recommended, this. So the music is sort of almost like hypnotic. So if you like your puzzle games and you like something maybe a bit of a variation to Tetris, then potentially this might be one that you want to give a try. So that's Lumines. So this is Metal Slug Anthology. So I was also a huge fan of Metal Slug. Absolutely love the series. I'm never very good at it, but just loved it in all the various incarnations. And as I said, like a lot of these, you just need to get the hang of the controls and then you'll be there. So that's the jump, that's the fire, and we got chucking your... Can't beat a bit of blasting action, can you? Oh, you're going to get these guys out. Oh, he dropped me a medal there. That's good of him. Yeah, it's great fun, isn't it? So I got my flamethrower now. Oh, yeah. Oh no! Just as I remembered what was going on. Gotta get that helicopter down. All I've got is the blimmin'... not... just my gun. I think this is gonna be tough. Come on, you get... Come on, 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 come on. Good news is, like on so many of these, you can continue. Anyway, that is Metal Slug Anthology, and it is brilliant.
Radiant's Earth-realm champions have failed.
Mortal Kombat Unchained. Okay, let's see how quickly we can get into a match then. So let's do, yeah, we'll do some combat, quick arcade blast, Scorpion, yeah, that'll be fine. Dozens of characters on this, yeah, let's just start up. Start it up, we don't want this. Okay. So, interesting to see if we get any slowdown on this one. But I do love a good fighter, so let's see how the iPega handles this then. So, yeah, looking good so far. Oh, I'm chinning her. I'm chinning her. Let's try some of the shoulder buttons. They don't seem to do anything. It looks like it's just... Oh, yeah. So the triggers don't do anything, but the buttons do. There we are. I threw her over the edge. Oh dear, nasty. Great stuff. Let me just put this one to bed. Yes, come on. Yes, no. Now, can I play it? Yes, so there's two ways to do it. I could play it with the normal crosshairs, or I can use the trigger. I think for the things like this, possibly, I think I prefer using the actual joystick. There we are. Oh, she died the same way. Anyway, Mortal Kombat seems to run absolutely fine. So, and there we are, the first one up. A bit like the Bruce Lee movies where you go up one floor, the House of Death. Brilliant. Excellent stuff. Yeah, I could play this 4 hours. Okay, so this is Namco Museum Battle Collection. Never played this one before. Definitely I was a huge fan of PacMan back in the day. Oh dear. That's the slight issue when you're playing this through a viewfinder. Let's try that again. Okay. So why is the PacMan maze crazy like that? This doesn't seem too difficult. Absolutely love PacMan. I was a huge fan of it back in the day. Could pretty much get to the key levels, which is about, well, quite a way into the game. Even contemplated getting an original arcade stand-up cabinet for PacMan. I love it that much. Okay, so that's like a take on the basic level. So what's next then? Namco Museum Battle Collection. So what's next? Okay, everything seems to be a bit faster. The maze is the same, which is a bit of a disappointment. Super responsive though on the PSP, so that's great. The emulator runs absolutely perfect. Now the top maze is a little bit different there. Yeah, I think this is pretty accurate. I'm just hoping that there's actually more than just the one maze, because that would be pretty boring these days. You know, I'll miss PacMan. Let's have a quick look then. We'll just do one more maze just to see if it is the same. Cutscene. Just like the original, I got a cutscene. So there we are. That's what I was hoping. So a slightly more expanded maze on this one. Yeah, this is good. And your PacMan's moving a bit quicker as well, which is good. Actually, this doesn't look too bad. The only thing I can't quite understand is why they've got the dots moving and jumping around like that. Bit of an odd one, that. However, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So there we are. So that's Namco museum. Oh look, there goes quick. Battle collection. So the last one I'm going to show you, simply because this is a PSP specific video, is perhaps my all-time favourite PSP game. I have actually sort of run out of time really. I don't want to make this video an hour long. I've already covered more than 10 games, which is, you know, I was hoping to go for about 20, but they've been so damn good. I've just got lost up, and I really wanted to include Outrun 2006. If you would like me to do another follow-up video showing some more classic PSP games, then just let me know in the comments and I'll do another one. But what I intend to do is show my Samsung S10 with the iPega Red Knight controller, just showing different emulators, and I think the PSP is just one of the ones that just looks so good. I've got so many other games I do want to show you as well, but they're just going to have to be in a follow-up video. So if this one does well, I'll do another one of a similar length, and I'll show some of the other games that I've got earmarked to play. Certainly Ridge Racer I enjoyed. There was a few more traditional, like the World Poker Tour, World Snooker. Tomb Raider Anniversary was fantastic on this one. I got some more driving games to show you. World Rally Challenge I think was another good one. There's more there's a Batman Lego game which was particularly good. The Lego Indiana Jones was good. I can't see any of those that you having any sort of problems with. Ones which you do require fiddling with the settings a little bit will be things like God of War, Chains of Olympus, which is graphically intensive, and you might find that the emulator struggles with that, in which case just turn frame rate on, and that seems to solve all the problems. But as you can see, this one runs pretty darn good. I have noticed on some games you do get a little bit of I'm not really sure what the term is for it, but maybe a little bleeding of the graphics just ever so slightly. But it is what it is, you know. Being able to play Outrun on the go, and this is perhaps the best Outrun there is. It's just fantastic. Now this is the version that on the Xbox, it'll set you back about £50, much cheaper on the PlayStation 2, which I can recommend. And basically the PlayStation Portable runs most PlayStation 2 games without too much trouble at all. You know, the equivalent, shall we say. So if you want a quick racer, I think the best one of them all is Outrun. It's just fantastic. And the reason this one is also so good is that it's quite generous on the timing. So within 2 or 3 goes, you'll probably be able to finish the whole game in a whole 5 tracks in about 5 minutes, and that's good. Once you've got the hang of the drifting, which is what I'm doing there, you'll really fly through it. It's great stuff, isn't it? And this is one of the games I've been absolutely playing loads of on my phone. Obviously I own a PSP and I got a PlayStation Vita, and I love them to death. But having this just on you all the time is just fantastic. And the iPega is so small and compact and lightweight. The battery lasts forever. Well, I say forever. They say 15 hours the iPega will last with constant play. And then it lasts 2 weeks on standby, so even if you don't play it for a while and then come back to it, you got nothing to worry about. The battery will still be there. In fact, mine came half charged straight from the box, so it's pretty damn good stuff. Anyway, if you have enjoyed the video, do please give me a thumbs up, and do consider subscribing, because I am planning on doing loads more emulator content on my S10 with this iPega controller, because it's just so darn good. And there must be 20 plus systems to play with, and I'm going to show you some of my favorites running on it. So until next time then, thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.